Hey there, Vikings Nation. Get ready to dive deep into the Skol state of mind. Join our host, D. Woods, as he shares his unfiltered takes on all things Vikings, from expert game analysis to player controversies and everything in between. If you love the Vikings for better or worse, then you've come to the right place. So grab a drink and let's talk all things purple and gold. This is the Skol State of Mind podcast.
Welcome to the Skol State of Mind podcast. As you know, I'm your host, D. Woods, and let's get into a Vikings Bears Monday night preview. First off, before we even get into the topics today, I want to let you guys know, thank you out there for being patient with me. I was extremely sick the past couple of days. Going into the week, I lost my voice. I kind of got it back, on Saturday, as you saw me on the live stream with Yogi, Zoe, and a couple of Lions fans. But I had to make sure I got my video in today and try to get it to you guys as soon as possible so you guys can hear my takes before this game on Monday. So let's dive into it. Justin Jefferson. All right. First off, we knew Justin Jefferson basically wasn't, scheduled to play. And then all of a sudden, we got that weird questionable tag on him, going forward, whatever. Me personally, I thought he was going to play, but it came out and said that he's not going to play. Now, how I look at it like this, there's two ways of looking at it. Like, Justin Jefferson can get in there and he can basically get his feet wet, kind of test it in live game speed. Because that's the thing, you got to understand, though. There's no real simulation of live game speed, no matter what kind of things you do in practice. The game speed is a whole lot different. So I kind of can get him wanting to come out there, test it live game speed, test it against somebody that's not, his teammate or whatever. I get that. But there's the bye week after this game. So if he, doesn't play on Monday, that actually is going to give him maybe 3 weeks going forward to actually get 100% healthy. And I understand Justin Jefferson's point. I'm not saying it's about money, it's about his contract, something like that, but he's been relatively healthy his whole career. And me as a Viking fan, I wouldn't want him to come back, not his true self, not 100%. And we have been winning without him. So it's kind of there's no real rush to bring JJ back just to kind of win a couple of games. I mean, they're in a playoff hunt right now. So I think at the end of the day, it's best that Justin Jefferson, sits out this week with the Bears, go into the bye week, sit out again, rehab some more, and then come in, to the week with the Las Vegas Raiders, 100% healthy, hopefully. But that's how I feel about JJ. So let's get into this Bears game. 4 keys to victory. Here are my 4 keys to victory. All right. Number 1, we got to run the ball consistently and don't abandon it. And what I mean by that is there's going to be runs that you're not going to be able to get 5-10 yards down the field. There might be some runs where you get, a neck of the play here, 2 yards here, stuff like that. What I'm saying is, and I've been saying this for a long time now, I really want KOC to be consistent with the run and not abandon it. See, the thing about running the ball is this. It's the running backs, they need to be able to build their rhythm as the game goes along. So that way, when it comes to those, third and shorts at the end of the game, they have confidence in themselves that, oh yeah, I'm going to get those 2 yards. So that's what I mean about staying with the running game consistently and don't abandon it. All right. My next key to victory is this one right here. Don't rely so much on Josh Dobbs scrambling. All right. I understand Josh Dobbs is the media darling, and a lot of people like scrambling quarterbacks and making the play downfield, scrambling, final receiver. But I don't want the Vikings offense, I don't want the Vikings offense to get stagnant to where they're dependent on Dobbs' legs to bail them out, potential 3rd and long or whatever, because that gets old. And these are NFL defenses, and they're going to game plan on that. So I don't want Dobbs to be our running game. That kind of piggybacks the first one too. All right. The second thing for keys to victory, limit Justin Fields making plays with his legs. Think about that. Just like I said with Dobbs, with the scrambling, scrambling in the pocket, running around, finding the open receiver downfield. We can't allow Fields to get comfortable. We have to smother Fields from the beginning of the game and keep a spy on him, however Flores wants to do it. I mean, they did it before. So however he wants to do it again, we do that, basically make him way uncomfortable. So that way he can't make any plays. Because the thing about Justin Fields, when he's running the ball and he scrambles and he sees DJ Moore downfield for a long pass, that's something that the Vikings don't need. Okay. And the last key to victory is, can we play a turnover-free football game? I know it's asking a lot because it's the Minnesota Vikings, but turnovers has really affected this team, and that's probably why the record is what it is. So I understand turnovers do happen, but let's not have them crazy, costly turnovers that basically cost us the drive here or a drive there, and then the Bears get a field goal or they get a touchdown or whatever. Let's try to play turnover-free football. All right, let's talk about the Bears a little bit. Bears players to watch. All right, my number one player I think we should watch for the Bears on Monday night, DJ Moore. Some people say DJ Moore has the ability to take the top off of a defense, and his breakaway speed or whatever, his yards after the catch. I understand that, but it's really tied to Justin Fields. And I remember the game where he had like 3 touchdowns or whatever, it was just basically all like scramble plays. So I feel like the Vikings have to limit DJ Moore from making big plays down the field. All right. And it's the same thing with Justin Fields, like stop him from scrambling, basically. All right. Let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings. Potential Vikings standout players. All right. I'm going to go back to one of my keys to the game, and I'm going to talk about the running game. I feel this game should be dominated by the Vikings running game. I really want to see Ty Chandler and Alexander Madison go for combined 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's what I want them to do. That's my standout player. I know it's 2 players, but it's a back by committee. So I'm saying the running game, 165 yards plus and 2 touchdowns. All right. Josh Metellus. I want to see, a quote unquote bounce back game from Josh Metellus. I'm predicting Josh Metellus get a pick 6. Take it to the house, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And another player I want to watch, can be a potential standout player is Justin Blackmon. I'm not sure if a Caleb Evans will play on Monday, but Blackmon had a pretty up and down game against Denver. So I'm feeling like with him going into the week, getting more practice time with the ones and, just trying to get the last game, out of his head, basically, having subjective amnesia or whatever you call it. I think he's going to have a rebound game and he's going to play a whole lot better against the Chicago Bears. Also, TJ Hawkinson. If TJ Hawkinson can go into this game and still solidify himself, on paper, because we know Travis Kelce is that guy, solidify himself on paper, and with his play as the best tight end in football, he's been doing it. He's been making plays. I mean, it's been drops here and there, but like, I just think about sometimes like, where would this offense be if it wasn't for TJ Hawkinson? So TJ Hawkinson continuing to be the best tight end in the game. All right. So let's talk about these turnovers. All right. Turnovers. The Vikings have been having a lot of costly turnovers throughout the whole season. And when I say costly turnovers, it's like the turnovers happen at the worst time. Like you get a stop or you get a interception or whatever for the opposing team, and the Vikings go down the field and they turn the ball over. It kind of feels like they shoot themselves in the foot and they can't do anything afterwards. So I feel like, just piggyback on what I was saying before, like if they can play mistake-free football and limit the turnovers and not have turnovers at the worst time of the game, I think they can be all right. I really do think so. But turnovers is a part of the game. Just the Vikings got too many of them, man. They got way too many of them. Now, let's get into a topic. It's a touchy topic about people out there, and I just really want to give my in-depth opinion on how I feel about it going forward. Josh Dobbs ain't it. All right. I'm going to say it once and I'm going to say it again. Josh Dobbs ain't it. And if he plays a good game and, he can be a little bit more consistent and not keep turning the damn ball over, then I'm going to change my stance. But how I feel right now when this video is being recorded, Josh Dobbs ain't it. Here's why. This is how I feel why Josh Dobbs ain't it. All right. Josh Dobbs has 6 turnovers since he's been with the Minnesota Vikings. Right? 6. Kirk Cousins, 7, whatever. Axel Madison, 2, whatever. Cool. Turnover, right? I feel like this. I've been watching the games with Josh Dobbs or whatever, and I really feel that the first half of the games, he's able to run around in the pocket, do things he wants, make the wild plays or whatever. But when you come back on the field in the second half, I think the defense kind of changes it up and they basically limit to what he can do. And it throws into the consideration also that he doesn't really have he has a full playbook, but he doesn't have all the playbook, basically. He's not dealing with the same deck Kirk Cousins or Jaren Hall basically would have, basically. So he's kind of limited, and I'm seeing receivers downfield when he's trying to scramble completely open. Like I seen on the play where he basically had the interception, and when he threw the ball, I saw TJ Hawkinson, down the field, like first down, basically, right? So that's the thing that it worries me a lot when it comes to Josh Dobbs and his ability to scramble and stuff like that. Is it's like, is he not looking downfield to make the play downfield, or is he only looking to basically do it with his legs and figure things out? Because these are NFL defenses. They're not going to let you keep doing that, every game. I mean, Lamar Jackson people thought he was going to come into the league and just run the ball, but he actually taking the ball down the field. And another thing too, I think about it from a different standpoint of like, I really want Jaren Hall to play. And this is my reasoning why. Like, we all know we had the magical season in 2017 where Case Keenum helped lead us to the NFC title game when we lost, right? And I just look at this situation with Josh Dobbs as a scenario that's quite similar. So after the 2017 season, the Vikings basically had no quarterbacks on the books. Teddy Bridgewater was a free agent, Case Keenum was a free agent, and Sam Bradford was a free agent. So the Vikings had to do one or two things. They either had to reach in the draft or sign a quarterback off the streets, to a big deal, which led to Kirk Cousins. We're not finna get into Kirk Cousins right now. Is he good or bad? But what I'm saying is, I don't want the Vikings to have to reach either way, because I feel that they need to see what Jaren Hall actually has, with this team. Like, can he be a potential solid backup for the next coming years? Could he be the potential starter? And he's really pretty much the only quarterback that has a contract on the books outside of this season. Kirk Cousins doesn't have a contract on the books. He has the void years. Josh Dobbs is a free agent. Mullins is the free agent. All right. And we're not even going to talk about Sean Mannion. So what I'm saying is, it's like, if I'm the Minnesota Vikings management and coaching staff, I would like to see what we have in Jaren Hall, because we only basically saw one good drive, one bad drive, and basically that was it. And I really feel like going forward, like, why not test the kid? Who knows? I'll give a situation like similar to, you know, the the San Francisco 49ers, right? They traded up for Trey Lance, and they still had Jimmy Garoppolo. Talking about last season right now, and then they got Brock Purdy with the last pick in the draft. So we know what happened to Trey Lance last year. He got hurt. Garoppolo got hurt, and they went to Brock Purdy. Now that was that was golden what they did, because they were able to see what they drafted and what they had in Brock Purdy. And if they didn't give him the opportunity to see what they had, they probably would have reached somewhere else. And we already know what happens when you reach shit. They reached for Trey Lance and didn't really give him the opportunity. So I just feel like at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna keep saying it, like, I want to see Jaren Hall. And I really feel like the way Josh Dobbs has been playing, he's been playing okay. It hasn't been great, but I think, like, now I think, I feel that it may be a disaster game coming. And a lot of people ask me, like, what do you think a disaster game looks like? I mean, shit, he's already had 6 turnovers on the team already, and he's only been with the team 3 games. That sucks. So I feel like a disaster game where he's not taking the ball down the field, where he's taking too many chances. Because if you really think about the way Josh Dobbs been playing, there's been a lot of interceptions that the opposing team just haven't caught. Let's just be real. It's been a lot of times where they basically drop these interceptions. So I'm just saying, like, I feel Josh Dobbs on it. I really feel, they should give Jaren Hall another look and see what they have long term, considering, the contract situation. Like, we don't know. Like, Josh Dobbs is making a lot of money for himself, basically. Think about it like that. Like, the contract that he's going to get next year is not going to be the contract that he has now. So you're going to have to be stuck. It's like, if you're going to overpay for a backup, because that's what Josh Dobbs is. He's a backup. Okay. Are you going to already have a backup on your roster, or are you going to re-sign Kirk Cousins to a crazy amount of money? Like, or are you going to reach in the draft? So it's kind of hard. It really is kind of hard. And let's just, let's see what the boy got. So let's go on to KOC. All right. This is my issue with KOC play calling. I'm not going to dive into this a little bit too much or whatever, but I just really feel at times he gets a little too damn cute. And when I say, like, he gets too cute, it's like 3rd and 1, run that shit down the middle and get the first down play. Like, we don't need any trick plays and stuff like that. And then when it's times for him not to be cute and whatever, it kind of like feels like he shuts down and he does something stupid. Basically, the 4th and 1 where you punt. Like, take that 4th and 1. Like I'd rather you risk it there than you doing something else with, like, it just really makes no damn sense. So I think KOC needs to get way more consistent with his play calling and stop being so fucking cute. Outside of that, like, I can't really say too much bad about him. I just certain situations to where, he's being too cute. And I really feel like we're seeing him learn as a head coach for the first time, So it is what it is. All right. So here's my prediction for the Bears Vikings on Monday. I think the Vikings are going to take care of business, and I think the Vikings are going to win 27-10. Now, let's back that up a little bit. That's if everything the Vikings do go well and they're able to dominate this team, they're able to make the Bears turn the ball over, and they, capitalize on that. But there's, like I said, within this whole, video, there's a lot of things I'm worried about. Is a Caleb Evans playing? Is, Justin Blackmon going to be able to rebound from his bad performance? Is Josh Dobbs going to be able to absorb the playbook a little bit more and actually go downfield? Those things like that. So if everything happens the right way for the Vikings, it should be 27-10. And you have to also think that the Vikings need to win this game, because if you look at the standings in the NFC playoff hunt is getting a little tight. As of right now, the Vikings are 6-5 in the 6th spot, with Seattle with 6-5 at the 7th spot, right? So this is how I'm thinking about it like that. You got the Green Bay Packers, coming out of nowhere at 5-6, and you also have the Los Angeles Rams at 5-6, and the New Orleans Saints at 5-6. So what I'm thinking like this. I just really feel like the Vikings gotta come in here, take care of business, and not have to worry about them other teams. And I really feel like if they don't take care of business, then they're gonna be looking over their shoulder trying to figure out, how they're gonna get in the playoff hunt. If they can get that 7 or 6 or 7 seed, as a wild card. And if you actually look at the standings for the NFC North, the Bears, we play the Bears on Monday. The Lions lost Thursday, so they're 8-3. So the Vikings can really take care of business and be 7-5 going into that bye week. And when I'm talking about going into that bye week, you want to go into the bye week and actually, feel good about yourself. Like, you don't want to go into that bye week on a loss, because maybe Justin Jefferson can come back after the bye week. We really don't know, because if you look at the games going forward, the next couple of games after the bye week, if you beat the Bears, you have a bye, you go to Vegas, get the Raiders. You get the Bengals that don't have Joe Burrow, and then it's going to start getting interesting in that NFC playoff hunt and the NFC, North standings. You get the Lions, you get the Packers, the Lions again. All right. So what I'm saying is this game is a big game for the Minnesota Vikings. Like, they have to really go in there and take care of business. And I mean, they have the potential of, running the board the rest of the season, or they're going to drop 1 or 2. But I really feel like if they continue to drop, if they drop 2 or more games, they might fall off the playoffs because it's getting a little tight. So, thank you guys for, rocking with me and, being patient with me, being out, down with the weather or whatever, however they call it. But you know how I feel about it, and you know how I end the videos. So, Skol, baby.
Thanks for tuning into the Skol State of Mind podcast. Take a beat to give us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. Join us next time, and don't forget to follow Skol State of Mind on all social media platforms to keep up with all the news and updates. Thanks again for listening, and as always, Skol Vikings.